Hi everyone, today we're going to be testing out the Yes Campervan shelves for our Volkswagen California wardrobe. So are you really annoyed with your Volkswagen California wardrobe because you keep loading stuff in there and then you can't get it back out again without having to empty everything? Well, Yes Campervan think they've got the answer with their new shelves. Now we're really lucky here at California Time because they've sent us a set, 3 shelves, to be able to fit in our van so we can have a go and then report back to you guys on whether they're any good or not. So you know what we do on this channel, full transparency. If they're no good, we'll tell you they're no good. If they're great, then we'll tell you they're great. So we're going to fit them in the Cali. We're going to unbox them, obviously. We'll assemble them if they need any assembly. We'll walk you through all of that. We'll fit them in here. We'll show you how they work. We're going to get some of our normal packing cubes that we use for our clothes and put those in there as well, just so you can see how things can be organised when we've got them installed. And then, if you stay tuned, if they're any good, we'll see whether we can get a discount code from Yes Campervan so that you're able to buy a set for yourself if you do fancy them. So stay tuned, let's get on with the unboxing. So let's get on with the unboxing of these large shelves for the California. We've got a couple of packs of screws, so we've got a load of nice Allen head screws of different sizes, some bits of rubber. We've also got what looks like the little bungee cords which go around the edge of the shelves when they're in, so got all those. Now then, onto the instructions. Now, from what I understand, so we've got these strips here. What happens with these is you've got couple of strips like this which go on the far wall of the get the right way up on the far wall of the wardrobe inside, so they stick it. So if this is your wardrobe, so if you imagine that you've got the passenger seat here, kitchen here, wardrobe here, so if this is the inside of the wardrobe, those go on that end there, and these holes here we have to mount a couple of these Allen bolts, I think, onto these to be able to mount the shelves on. So those go on the end, and then this one goes on that end like that. So you'll end up with them effectively like that, and then the shelves just go into the wardrobe after that. There's actually with these, you've got 3 shelves in the kit. You can buy it with less. If you've got the safe in your wardrobe at the bottom, then you're probably only going to need 2 shelves, because otherwise you won't be able to get anything underneath the 3rd shelf at the bottom. But we'll have a look at that when we get on to fitting these. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a quick read of what we need to do, and then I'll pick back up with you once I've got things arranged and we know what we're doing. So let me just have a quick look at this. Right, I've had a read of the instructions. I know what I'm up to now, certainly for the first bit. So these mounting plates, so actually come in 2 different lengths. So if you've got a safe, this will be slightly shorter. We haven't got a safe, so this is the full size one. So that's good to know. And what we've got to do is we've got to get these little rubbers which the shelves sit on. You get a screw, which is the larger of the screws which they supply. You get a screw, you put it through the rubber, and then you literally just screw it on to the plate. These holes are actually threaded. I didn't realise they're actually a threaded holes in here, which means quite handy actually, because once you've stuck these in place in the van, at least it means if you want to change the height of the bottom shelf, you can do, because these just screw in. So happy days. Now, I've just nipped out to the garage and got hold of a couple of Allen keys. So it is a hex Allen key that you need to be able to put these screws in. This is a 3mm Allen key that I'm using on the larger screws, and I'm not going to overdo them or anything like that. So they don't need to be super tight because it's going into rubber anyway. That one there. So all I've got to do is just nip these in, and that will be the preparation of these ready for the shelves. So I'll pop these in, and we'll catch up in a couple of minutes. Now, when we've got to the bottom, I've got 3 options here, so 3 different hole heights. I think I'm probably going to go for the lowest one, looking at these, because I think that's probably about the same distance as the top ones. Let's just check. Yeah, so very roughly, the bottom holes on this piece are roughly the same distance. It's slightly shorter, but roughly the same distance as the top 2. Okay, piece number 1 done. And then we do exactly the same on these pieces. And clearly you don't put the shelf stays on the side which has got the tape, because the tape sticks to the wall. It's obvious. And there we go, all done. So that is the prep of all of the bits that stick into the van. And now we need to get on to just prepping the shelves. So let's just have a quick look through here. So it says stick these mounts in the van, then you can put the shelves in, then you can screw these little bungee cords in. And I'm just thinking, I know what they've said in the instructions to do these as the last thing. Is it really going to make any difference? I think I'm going to do them now. One thing I have noticed is these shelves, I don't know if you can see that, are actually 3 different sizes. So 3 different size shelves. It tells you in the instructions which one is which, and they are, the top shelf is the smallest, the middle shelf is the largest, and the bottom shelf is actually the middle size. So who knew? So let's just think about how we're going to fit these bungee cords on here, just to make sure we get this right. Maybe that's why they tell you to put them in the van first, because if you get the bungee cords wrong, then you'll end up having to turn them over, won't you? But I'll tell you what, this is the smallest one, isn't it? Which they said was the top one. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one of these on in here, and then we're going to go and stick the stuff in the van, and then we'll see whether we've got them in the right place or not. So the in terms of how these fit, you've got, you probably saw the bungee cord which comes supplied, so that's nice and elastic. It's got 3 of these little beautiful aluminium turned posts on, which have got a thread in them. Smaller screws, so this is 2.5mm Allen key you need for these. Just goes through the shelf like that. This screws on the top, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop these on as I go. Obviously you've got to make sure, so if I just put this up here, you can see, so Allen key underneath, just tightening it up, just nip it up, don't want to go too tight, just make sure that you've got the hole lined up in the direction that you want it to go, and then repeat with the next couple. Now this last one's going to be a bit tricky because it's elastic, so got to make sure I've got everything kind of held tight, because obviously you want it to be tight, you don't want it to be slack, and you just got to hold the tension against it while you do this up. And now I can just use the Allen key for the last bit. And that's our shelf ready. So this is all nicely tensioned, ready to go. I think it's time to get out to the van, get these stuck in so we can whack the shelves in. Let's go.
Right, so I've gone and collected all the relevant bits to be able to fit this in the wardrobe now, and we've got 3 shelves now, which I've attached these on. So I was thinking, after reading the instructions, that you needed to screw these on after you'd put the shelves in the van, but actually I read it wrong. So you can mount all 3 of these with the elastic, which holds everything in. All 3 of those, you'll see I've got them all lined up there ready to go, all the different sizes. And yeah, we'll get them in the van, we'll put them in the wardrobe, and we'll see how we get on. To do that, we've got to stick these pieces with the sticky adhesive. We've got to stick these inside the wardrobe. So this large one goes this end, and then the 2 other ones go on the other end of the wardrobe. So let's stick this in this end first, and then we'll stick the other 2 in, and then we'll put the shelves in. On the back of here we've got some sticky tape, but I'm not going to take that off yet. I'm just going to offer it up first. So in here we haven't got the safe in the bottom. If we did, there would be a box there with a lid on, so we haven't got the safe. So this rests down against the bottom, so I'm just going to take that piece of foam out just while I do this. So that rests on the bottom, and then it sits hard up against this hinge here. So it sits flush there and flush on the bottom like that. You can see that there is just sat, that screw's sat nicely inside that hole, and that is where we're going to stick it. So what I've got to do now is just take the tape off and then try and get it in the right place first time. That's the idea. Right, so there's a bit there. So actually, apart from the couple of Allen keys you need to be able to assemble these into here, there's no drilling, no screws needed to mount this, nothing like that. So let's just pop this back in here. Right, so got it so that it is sticky. So I think that should be okay. Just not quite far enough over this way by the looks of it, so just prise it off. It had just caught, when I put it on, it had just caught on the edge of that washer there, so just need to make sure when I put it on this time that doesn't happen again. There we go, there we go. Right, so push that on nice and hard where that is at the bottom, nice and hard at the top here, and that is the first one done. So now we've got to do the ones on the opposite end. We're on to these 2 individual strips. Now these individual strips go one here, and you don't have to be super accurate with this. Again, they just rest on the bottom. The important thing to note is the extra holes that we've got at the bottom here are the bottom, because this is the position of the bottom shelf that you can choose. And obviously on the other side, when I was fitting that, the holes were at the bottom on that too. So yeah, with this you've basically just got to mount it there. I'm tempted to go and grab a spirit level just to make sure I do it vertically, and then the other one on this side lines up with the edge of the wardrobe, so you put it hard against the wardrobe on the edge like that, and that's where that one goes. So I tell you what, I'm going to do that one first. So sticky tape off. They're both identical, so no real issue there. And just make sure I get this in the right place. First time this time. go. So that's nicely held in place. Right, spirit level. So what I'm going to do first of all, is still got the covers on the tape, so I'm just going to get this roughly in the right place. Going to get the spirit level on it, and then I'm going to just draw a quick pencil line at the top here and at the bottom, so I know where to put it. So pencil line top and bottom, so I can get the tape off. Just stop biting my nails, don't I?
I'm obviously making you a nervous wreck.
Always.
Oh.
Right. Okay, so then we just need to line it up at the bottom, line it up at the top, push it on to secure it. And that is our shelf support sorted. So let me just go and grab the bottom shelf first, and then we can start to put them in. So the top one is the smallest, the middle one is the largest, and the bottom one is the medium sized one if you've got the 3 shelves. So I'm going to do them bottom first, then middle, then top. That looks like it should be easiest to me. So let's pop the first one in. Look at that. Looks good to me. Right, second shelf. So this is the largest one. Put this in here. A bit more tricky to see what I'm doing. Oh, missed it. There we go. That's that one. Looking good. Right, so now we've got to put the top shelf in. This might be a bit tricky, might be a bit tight, but we'll give it a go. So I think we need to try and get it over these back stops first. So that would sit like that, and then
Not quite fit over that one. That's it.
better.
That's it.
Okay, and then at the front here, just need to see whether we can squeeze it past that one, just to be able to sit it on top. Ooh, that is a tight fit on the top one, but we're there now, so there we are. So in terms of the inside here, you can still obviously move the little drawers there, no problem at all. They were all okay. And then in here we've got some lovely looking shelves, so all of that still works, of course. So just in terms of trying to put a packing cube in, this is one of our normal packing cubes. I've stuffed it reasonably full. They're quite soft, but as you can see, putting it on the shelf with that bungee, it's just enough to hold it nicely in place. Right, I've just been out after having a quick drive round, and I'm happy to report that there are no rattles or anything like that from these shelves as you drive along. We live on really bumpy back roads here, and even going over some of the potholes and everything else, nothing. Nice and silent, and that's all going to be down to the fact that these shelves sit on rubbers inside the mounts, so it's silent, no issues whatsoever. So let us know in the comments below what you think about these shelves. We think they are fantastic. The quality is absolutely amazing. They fit perfectly. You would imagine that they're made by Volkswagen. They are just superb. So yescampervan.co.uk is where you can buy these from. We have managed to secure a discount code for you, so it's California Time 10. That's the discount code, and if you put that into the website you'll get 10% off, and that's until the end of April 2022. If you like this kind of content, then please like and subscribe, and we will see you again soon for some more California Time.